Regions are open systems. That means what happens in one region, so a new factory, a college expansion, a wave of migration, affects other regions through trade, through commuting between them, through supply chains changing, even knowledge spillovers. So regional problems like unemployment or slow growth in one area rarely have purely local causes. There's something else going on outside that specific community or that area that's helping to drive that, that's making it better or making it worse. This immediately makes regional development challenging because you can't just simply focus on fixing one place without thinking about other places if you want to be successful. And you can't understand a region's growth by looking only inside its borders. You have to also look at what's going on around it. So they lay out several reasons why regional policy is hard to get right. A big one is heterogeneity. Every region has its own mix of industries, of skills, their own institutions, and different people that make them up. So policies that work in one place might fail to work in another. There's also interdependence. Regions are linked through flows of people, capital, and goods. So a subsidy in one area might just end up pulling jobs from a neighboring district or neighboring region rather than creating new ones. Then you're just moving them around rather than creating new jobs, which was usually listed as the goal. There's also problems with measurement. We often lack good data to measure what's happening locally or to evaluate whether policies worked. We don't have super detailed data at the local level. It's getting better now, but even now with our much more granular data, we don't have specific variables to answer questions that we want to ask. And finally, there's questions of governance and institutions. Effective regional policy requires a local capacity, coordination between different groups, and even just simply trust between people in the government and different agencies within the government. It's not just relying on money or incentives. So here the authors trace how regional policy ideas have evolved over time. So from the 50s to the 70s, they were thinking of sort of the growth pull and industrial recruitment strategies. So you pick a place, you invest heavily, and you hope spillovers occur from that area outside and from that specific industry to other industries. In the 80s and the 90s, it was more about cluster and competitiveness models. So this had sort of a focus on bringing networks of related industries together. Now, since the 2000s, it's been more about smart specialization. So encouraging regions to innovate based on what they already do well. Now, each phase of regional policy ideas reflects learning, but it also reflects the mistakes that were being made at the time. The big takeaway here is that there's no one-size-fits-all strategy. I know it would be really nice if we could say we've learned all this stuff and there is one simple rule that you must follow. But simply copying and pasting policies from one area because it was successful there to another area rarely work because each region is different. One of the most practical parts of this reading is just the catalog of tools that regional analysts can use. So you could describe it as a diagnostic toolkit of regional science. So it includes ideas like location quotients, diversity and concentration indices, input, output, and interregional trade models. They talk about spatial econometrics and scenario models and simulation. That goes into a lot more detail about what these are and how to use them, how they work.